Welcome, everybody, to the City of Farmers Branch Tax Increment Finance Reinvestment Zone meetings today. I'm going to roll from one to the next because there's three of them, but I will make sure that they're separated and that you all know. So our first one is TIF Zone number 2. And our first item is consider approval of the minutes from the August 5th meeting. We will be voting by a show of hands on all of these. So,
Mayor, I move to approve the agenda meeting minutes from August 5th, 2025.
thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. If you would, please vote accordingly. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Next up is discuss and consider, or excuse me, item C2, discuss and consider approval of the 2025 financial report for Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone number 2.
Perfect. Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council members. My name is Jay Patel. I'm the Finance Director for the City, and the purpose of the item before you this afternoon is to review and discuss the state-required annual reports for our 3 various tax increment reinvestment zones, otherwise known as TIRZ. Thank you. Which are required by the Texas Comptroller, and we want to give you all the opportunity to review these reports prior to our submission and have the opportunity to ask any questions or clarifications that you may need. To present this report, I'd like to introduce Mark Piffman, Vice President with MuniCap, who is our TIRZ administrator, who essentially handles all of the administrative and accounting functions related to our 3 TIRZ. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mark.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. My name is Mark Furman. I'm a Vice President with MuniCap. We administer the city's TIRZs number 2, 3, and 4. In such capacity, we prepared the fiscal year 2025 annual reports, which are required by Texas Property Code Chapter 311 to be submitted to the Comptroller annually by the end of this month. So I had 3 separate presentations for each of the zones. The purpose is to allow you the opportunity to ask any questions about those reports. Before we dive into the reports themselves, just want to provide a brief explanation of a TIRZ and how it works. So a TIRZ, or Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone, is a defined geographic area in which tax revenues are collected to finance specific infrastructure benefiting properties within that zone. So when a TIRZ is created, a base year and a base year value is established, and then as value increases and additional tax revenues are collected, we use a portion of those tax revenues to finance that infrastructure benefiting those properties. In addition, when the zone is created, a TIF fund or a TIRZ fund is established, and that's primarily what we'll be reporting on here this afternoon. These reports are going to detail some general information about each zone, the fund revenue from the end of last fiscal year, or the end of the 2024 fiscal year to the end of the 2025 fiscal year, and then value information as reported by the Dallas Central Appraisal District. So the first TIRZ is Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone number 2, also known as Old Farmers Branch. Have a general location up there where the star is. In addition, spreads a little bit to the north and east. The purpose of this zone, when it was created in 1999, was that there were several small commercial lots. So the goal of the zone was to consolidate some of those smaller lots and then rebuild some of what was considered dated infrastructure for the commercial and residential properties in that area. As I mentioned, we're reporting on fiscal year 2025, and that fiscal year ends September 30th, 2025. There's both commercial and residential properties within the zone. There's a general list of the type of infrastructure that can be paid for in this zone, and that's in more detail in the project and financing plan. There's no bonded indebtedness for this TIRZ. So here we have the revenues and expenditures as of the end of fiscal year 2025. The revenues are tax revenues collected from City of Farmers Branch property taxes, this zone has a 25% contribution rate, meaning we take 25% of that tax increment I described earlier and deposit it in the TIF fund. The other fund revenue just represents investment income on the TIF fund balance. So those two make up the total annual revenue of $334,391. That is a slight increase from last year. Expenditures totaled $299,379. Would split those into, there was $178,411 spent on Valley View Lane roadway improvements and $120,968 on Denton Drive Trail connector improvements. And all of those costs appear to be soft costs paid towards an engineering consulting firm. Lastly, we report on the values within the zone. So that base year value is the value of all properties within the zone during the year the zone was created in 1999. The bottom value is the 2025 value, and then the middle value is the increment. So that increment is what is generating revenue for the tax increment reinvestment zone, and what we can use a portion of the taxes collected from that incremental value to pay for infrastructure. And those are all based on information pulled from the Dallas Central Appraisal District. Happy to answer any questions about tax increment zone number 2, sorry.
Thank you, Mark. Council, any questions? Councilwoman Gonzalez?
I'm sorry, could you go back to the previous slide? I think I may have just zoned out, not gonna lie. What is the other funds?
Yeah, that's investment income on the TIF fund balance.
Okay.
Councilwoman Bennett?
No question.
Councilman Reed? Councilwoman Villafranca?
On this page, you indicated there was an increase from last year. Are you
Yep.
able to indicate what, based on what?
So we saw about a 7% valuation increase. So it's that value increase is resulting in additional taxes being collected, so we have additional revenue.
Councilman Neal?
Yeah, real quickly, I think I might have misheard you. You had mentioned there's about $129,000 spent on the Denton Drive connector. Just before that, you mentioned a figure for Valley View. Could you repeat that for me? I don't think I get that.
It was $178,411 in the TIF fund ledger is classified as Valley View Lane roadway improvements.
That's all I needed. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? All righty. Well, we'll move on to TIF number 3.
And we will need approval for the finance.
Oh,
report.
I'm sorry, that's right.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the 2025 financial report of the tax increment reinvestment zone number 2.
A second.
Thank you. We have motion and second. If you would, please indicate. Show of hands. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Now we'll move on to TIF zone number 3. And first item is C1, consider approval of the April 22, 2025 meeting minutes and take appropriate action.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes from the April 22, 2025 TIR Zone 3 meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion and second to approve the minutes. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Next up is C2, discuss and consider approval of the 2025 financial report for the TIF zone number 3.
Great. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. As TIRS Board number 3, this presentation is about the TIRS for the Mercer Crossing development. So just before I get started here, this TIRS functions a bit differently than TIRS number 2 and TIRS number 4, where TIRS number 3 is an overlay on top of a public improvement district. So the public improvement district issued contract revenue bonds to finance infrastructure within that development for both commercial and residential properties. Property owners then pay assessments to fund debt service and administrative expenses related to that bond issuance. These TIRS increments then offset the PID assessments paid by those property owners. So with TIRS 2 and 4, the increment finances infrastructure costs directly. TIRS 3, the PID finance the infrastructure, and the TIRS is now reducing the annual installments paid by property owners. So this is a general location of this TERS, centered around that blue star. Again, we're reporting on fiscal year 2025. The infrastructure is described in both the TERS project and financing plan and the service and assessment plan for the PID. And there's no bonded indebtedness specific to the TERS. That's considered the PID's debt, which is why you see that there's no bonded indebtedness being reported. Revenues totaled about $4.5 million. The expenditures represent the money moving from the TIF fund to the PID's trust accounts to offset those PID annual installments. Again, rather than going towards vendors to pay for infrastructure directly, the county collects those funds, transfers them to the city, it's put in a TIF fund, and then transferred over to Wilmington Trust, the PID's trustee. The base year value was $9,283,887. The 2025 value was $1,050,729,760. That represents about a 6% increase. And as this TERS and the development sort of matures, we're starting to see that level out and seeing smaller increases than we might have reviewed in previous years' reports. Any questions about TERS number 3?
Thank you, Mark. I do have one question. Who audits or reviews Wilmington?
So MuniCap reviews Wilmington's trust account statements
Okay.
monthly.
Okay. Councilman? Councilman? Councilman Villafranca?
I don't know if it's possible for you to simply explain very quickly TIF PID for our audience that is watching.
Sure. So there are two special financing structures. There are ways for a city and a developer to finance an infrastructure that otherwise would not be possible. So with a PID, the way that's typically done is the district with the city as the issuer will issue a debt to finance that infrastructure up front. So we issue debt, and then if we issue bonds, a certain amount of money is sitting in a trust account, and that money can be immediately used to pay for infrastructure. And then property owners pay an assessment. It's billed in a similar manner as a tax, but it is distinct from a tax. But if I was speaking to a property owner, that's kind of where I'd start in my explanation, where they're billed an annual amount, and that amount is used to repay that debt. With a TIF like TERS 2 and 4, a property owner might not even know that they're in a TIF because there's no additional amount that they're being billed. It's just a portion of their tax dollars is being used to finance specific infrastructure benefiting them.
Great. And PID stands for and TIF stands
Sure.
for?
So PID stands for Public Improvement District. And then TERS and TIF are sometimes used interchangeably, but they are distinct things. So TERS stands for Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone, and it refers to that specific geographic area, where TIF, tax increment financing, it's more the mechanism itself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilman Neal? All right. This item is marked for action.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the 2025 financial report for the tax increment reinvestment zone number 3.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. If you would please indicate your vote by a show of hands. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. And so now we will move on to TIF Zone 4. And our first item is C1, consider approval of the August 5th, 2025 TERS Zone 4 meeting minutes and take appropriate action.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the August 5th, 2025 TERS Zone 4 meeting minutes.
I second.
Thank you. Motion and second, if you would, please show of hands. Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. Next up is item C2, discuss and consider approval of the 2025 financial report for the tax increment reinvestment zone number 4 and take appropriate action.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. As the TERS number 4 board, we are presenting the annual report for TERS number 4. This is also known as the I-35 zone. So you'll see a map with a star. The shape of TERS number 4 is not exactly easy to identify with just the star. So it expands south on each side of I-35 and then a bit northeast as well to those residential areas. We are reporting on fiscal year 2025. The TERS benefits both residential and commercial properties, and there's no bonded indebtedness for this TERS. Revenues totaled $914,105, with the majority of that $864,434 being that tax increment collected based on city property taxes. Other fund revenues, once again, represent interest earnings on the TIF fund balance. The TERS ledger did not show any TERS expenditures during the fiscal year ending September 30th of 2025. This zone was established in 2021, and that base year value of $350,999,061 is the 2021 value of all properties within the zone. And as of 2025, that has increased to $552,933,090, which represents an increase of about $44 million from 2024. Any questions about TERS number 4?
Thank you very much. Councilman Gonzalez, Bennett, Reed, Villafranca, Neal. This item is marked for action.
Mayor, I move to approve the 2025 financial report for TERS Zone 4 as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Okay. If you would, please, show of hands. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. And that is all that we have regarding tax increment financing this afternoon. So we will adjourn at 4:16.